It's finally time to rescue our sister. Hello everyone, it's SK95. Welcome back to more Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. Last time, we got the legendary weapon, the Master Sword, the Blade of Evil's Bane, said to be the power used to seal Ganon away once again. And this time, we're at the Forsaken Fortress, needing to us getting their sister back after him kidnapping her. Let's go ahead immediately. Do not get caught by that searchlight. That's pretty much the main thing you want to do. It's easy to avoid the searchlights outright, however he has cannons. And believe me, they will aim at Link right away. Let's check the Fishman and see what he has to offer about his information here. Oh, hey, small fry. Yeah, I've heard. I'll take it that you want a chart and information about this island, yeah? Then start by opening up your sea charts. I heard there's a fellow on Windfall Island who's collecting skull necklaces. You know who it is, Fry? I don't. Sorry. But I can tell you that those biggest monsters you see from here in those Forsaken Fortress seem to be carried out of skull necklaces around them all the time. Not that I think it's easy to work stealing from anything from the likes of those guys. And that's all the info I got to offer. Yeah, it's pretty much talking about who wants the skull necklace and whatnot. There's two people that want them, however, this is mostly the one we need to get after immediately. I did not refill my items before the last episode, believe me, I did not. I didn't want to waste my time going back to Forsaken Fortress. It's more annoying doing that otherwise. You can destroy the cannons outright and immediately get rid of them, so you don't have to worry about getting attacked for them. And by the way, yes, the explosion does indeed cause slowdown. It's not fun. If you hold R, by the way, in doing the cannon fire, it's going to mean that you get sent flying again. And trust me, it's very annoying and tedious. There we go. Now we got that out of the way, I can go ahead and stop for a little bit. Perfect. I want to turn around and have our cannon pointed towards the door. Because that's how we get in. 1, 2, and there we go. We can now finally enter the Forsaken Fortress. Ganon has luckily been made aware of our little incursion already. But you have the Master Sword. The sword shall shine in the darkness, casting back evil. Within your hands, none can keep you from rescuing your sister. Do not be afraid. Let's go and immediately go and have to save our sister. There aren't really many ways we can do about it. Let's go ahead inside and just bomb the fortress right away. Let's go through the front gate, why don't we? Nothing will stop us in our tracks. The surprise, the mid-boss of the dungeon! This is Phantom Ganon. I'm not joking. He does Deathman's Volley right away. He will smack the volleyball of electricity back at Link repeatedly until he keeps hitting it until a point that Phantom Ganon will eventually... There we go. This is also your only opportunity to actually take a pictograph of him if you have the opportunity. Otherwise, you have one more chance to do so, and otherwise, he is gone for good. On his sword is a reference to the two blacksmiths back in Majora's Mask.
Deborah Gabora.
Now, let's go ahead and knock out some damage. Now, he does take a few hits in order to knock out, and he will attack immediately as soon as you try to attack him. You cannot do a physical attack on Phantom Ganon no matter what. His design is completely different from the one in Ocarina of Time, and believe me, it is. And I will say this outright, both designs are cool looking no matter what version you have. Is Hurricane Spin pretty useful in this fight? Not really. Hurricane Spin's very not useful in this fight because that means you're going to get stuck repeatedly. And trust me, you will get hit many times if you're not careful. You can parry him, however, but it's not easy to actually land the parry. However, you're more often than not easier to just use Deathman's Volley counterattacking because, man, it's easy. You're probably thinking, can the bottle work? Well, let's try it and see what happens. Yes, it does still work. The bottle, no matter what version of Ganon, still works. That's also the reason why I went to Rockspire Island last time. It's because I wanted to show off what happens if you use an empty bottle. Well, let's go ahead and open this chest. Why don't we ignore the net? You got the Skull Hammer, a replacement to the Megaton Hammer in the Ocarina of Time games. This mighty hammer can break things and pound objects in the ground. Enemies even get stunned with the shockwaves it causes, but then pounding the ground with it. Anytime a searchlight spawns on you, no matter what, mini blends will pop out, and they're very annoying. By the way, they're the most annoying enemy to try to pictograph in the game because they usually will move too quickly to get Link immediately. However, since we got them now, we don't have to worry about them at all in the slightest. By the way, yes, the Cannon Fire will still go after Link no matter what. Swing, batter, batter, batter. And yes, mini blends are just as annoying as you think. You don't want to be caught by the searchlight often, but I don't think you have much of a choice. They'll speed up the amount of production of mini blends no matter what if they catch you. Is it terribly bad? Not really. There are ways to get around it, and when you're on the second trip, by the way, you have no necessary need of worry about the silliness that is you having an invisible wall blocking your path. Believe me, it's less annoying that way. Same like the Megaton Hammer, the attack power of the hammer is very powerful. That was just a shockwave. What the? I forgot that could happen. If an enemy is launched into an object that has technically no flooring inside it, then the game counts that as a death and will automatically kill it when it does so. Yeah, that happens. As you see, the invisible wall is gone. We can finally go ahead over to the next side and not have to worry about this. Forsaken Fortress is very short on your second trip. But there are some changes to Forsaken Fortress that I will say outright make it much harder. Now, outright speaking, I'll say this right now. You better have been prepared before going to Forsaken Fortress because it's not easy the first time you come here the second time. Hit again itself is not a hard fight, but I'll say there's better things to do. Is that enough stinging joy pendants? I have 5 more missing. That's funny. 5 more joy pendants left and I can finally get access to something I really wanted in the game. You guys are still here? Really? Oh, man. Yeah, wait for me. Multiple areas of Forsaken Fortress will be changed and more better suited for the Skull Hammer, and believe me, they do this a lot. By the way, the swing, by the way, not easy to perform. You have to be basically going ahead and spinning or something. Yeah, spinning will basically allow that thing to happen. However, you cannot do a weird jump like that. Believe me, it does happen. Now, there are a few ways to get across this, but you're better off just using the Decade Leaf to get across, and I'm going to use the Skull Hammer right now, because it's very easy. Although these pegs are pretty much the main objective you're going to deal with a lot of the time, there is no switches that will basically be hard to press. Get rid of Decade Leaf, because I don't need it anymore, because Decade Leaf is kind of useless now. And let's go ahead up to where we need to go next. We can destroy the cannons if we so wish. You have no reason to, though, because the cannons don't do anything. You can technically also skip past most of the dungeon if you just Decade Leaf over to the ladder. It's not hard. And for the sake of it, I probably am going to do that out of the way. Okay, you rat. Okay. You wanted to get built with the Master Sword. Got it. You wanted to die by the Master Sword. By all means, you'll die by the Master Sword. Clearly, he was a boss bokoblin. Man, was that annoying. Let's go ahead and get the grappling hook out of here so we can actually go ahead north to where we need to be in order to use our shortcut to get back up to where we need to go. Now, before I do that, there's one thing I want to show off while we have the wind direction change. And that's corridor over there we couldn't go to before. By the way, there's a rat hole over there as well. That allows you to get potions and whatnot if you so wish and need it. I would not recommend it because it's not necessary. It is basically a waste of bait at this point. Multiple rooms will have new additions added to them that weren't there presently. Those are real bomb shoes. No, I am not kidding. That's what they're called officially in-game, and it's weird. They run around the room, do all sorts of crazy chaos to Link. But typically they're just annoying rats that just upgraded power, and they are holding the bombs that you needed to, well, deal damage to Link. They're still rats no matter what, but it's just one of those things that happen a lot. If you want to really take a pictograph, this is like this opportunity to not deal with the rats attacking Link while he's in the ground area or above an area. But trust me when I say this, they are more annoying if you don't do it so. I'm just waiting for my opportunity because these rats are not going in a direction like I want. Gotcha, sucker. Oh, yeah, that took forever. All I had to do was go across and then use the bombs or pictograph immediately. There's a Moblin statue in the safest route possible. It is very annoying. It's technically not classified as an enemy in game, so do not think that it's an enemy. If you try to approach it, this happens as soon as you approach it. It will start turning on and immediately shoot a laser at Link, sending him flying. No, I am not joking. Thankfully, though, these Moblins also still exist. If you really want the Moblins that were not available before, you can do so here. But I'm not going to do so, so... shoot you in the eye. You hit me in the eye. Ah, I got you, sucker. Couldn't resist the hammer. You're just too easy to deal with. By the way, yes, parry also still works no matter what. Really? You know what? You know what? Just for that Moblin, I'm gonna just do this to you. By the way, the unangled one will also still work no matter what. But he will run out of animals and things eventually, but believe me, it's not necessary in the slightest. He dropped a jewel. Thank you so much for the healing. I needed that. That's at least some money as well back what I needed. Since I already went this way, I might as well ignore it for now. Technically speaking, we could have taken the shortcut, but I'm not really bothered with it too much. Mini blunts attack us no matter what, of course, like last time, and they are just as annoying as obnoxious as you may appear to be. They always do this, and trust me when I say that, it's very annoying. Do I find Mini-Blins the most annoying enemy in the Wind Maker? Oh, absolutely, I find them annoying. By the way, if you're wondering, you can squish them like a pancake. They go out of reach sometimes, and it's pretty funny to see them go out of reach and miss Link, but they are just as annoying as you think. Technically speaking, you have two options. You can slittle across or use your Deku Leaf to get across no matter what, but I'd rather use the slittling option because I don't want to consume the magic power needed. To be fair, though, I don't have any reason to use magic power right now because there's nothing in the game right now that requires me to use magic power right now, and I won't have to worry about that for a long period of time. What you need for the coming fight ahead is just the skull, hammer, and the grappling hook. And pick the box as well if you need a boss picture. Yeah, that's multiple boss episodes in a row. But I can't help it because the game is not exactly the longest in the Zelda series. HD is actually shorter than the original. It's fucking in at 41 hours. Although, to be fair though, Mini-Blins are just being annoying. Get out of here. Smash this peg down. The door is now open and we can continue on and go and free our sister. Let's go ahead and open the door and finally free our sister and stop Ganon. Big brother! You're okay! I was worried.
Hi.
That cell won't open that easily. There you go, acting before you think, as usual. I swear, do you even realize that we had to draw that monster bird off for you? He was about to come flying in here after you again. That sword! Where did you get that? Are you... Is it even possible? What could it be? Well, never mind about that. For now, we'll just take these girls. I'm sure their fathers back in town will pay a handsome reward for their return. I'm so sorry to interrupt such a heartwarming reunion. But isn't there still something that you need to take care of? If you're worried about your sister, don't be. I promise I'll deliver her safely back to your little island. Normally I expect a huge reward for something like this, but this time, it's my treat. Listen, Ariel, your brother still has some big things to take care of. Big, important, grown-up things. He'll be back soon, so just wait nice and quiet until he returns, okay? But big brother... Miss Tetra, we have to hurry! The bird will be here any second! Gonzo, excellent, you're just in time. Take this one for me. Oh, but she's fine, just do as you're told. Big brother! Link, we'll be back soon, I swear it. The bird that started it all. What started us on this quest entirely will be its undoing for it and its master. What you need to do while in this fight, or rather climb up to Ascension, is have that grappling hook equipped immediately. This bird is dangerous, and believe me, it is. It's gonna smack or try to claw or use its talons in order to crush Link, and believe me, Robocoplins are gonna be in your way when doing so, and it's not fun. It will peck at the ground, basically stopping Link's ascent. If you manage to roll in time, it's not hard, but I would recommend being careful. By the way, yes, enemies can fall into the bottomless pit down below, and nothing will stop them entirely. If you run through it, you won't have to worry about using the grappling hook at all in this fight. Ow! But it looks like I had to use a grappling hook immediately because I got smacked repeatedly. Reaching the end of this pathway. Get out of here. Dang Bokoblin, very annoying. Let's go ahead all the way to the top while we skin and escape the dang bird. Reaching the top, the bird is going to look at us like a curious little chicken. Back to the head with the dang Megaton Hammer's copy of Skull Hammer. That water is not big enough, by the way. That water's going to take a long time before it ascends all the way up to here, by the way. You guys are wondering how fast it ascends? Its ascension speed is very pitifully slow, in case you're wondering. Extremely pitifully slow, in fact. I don't know why anyone would rush panic up here. Usually, by that point, it's never going to happen, and you'll never drown by it, so wouldn't worry too much in that fight, in the grand scheme of things. Let's go ahead and get to the top very quickly. The monster bird, the boss of the Forsaken Fortress, the Helmarock King! The Helmarock King will be flying in the air, basically out of reach of all your weapons and swords. All you gotta do is wait for him to charge and land on the ground. That's your cue to actually be able to hit him, because you have to wait until him to smack his beak into the ground. Because that way you can actually smack him with the hammer. This is also your last and only opportunity to get the pictograph picture of the Helmarock King, because otherwise he's perma-gone for good. His size is massive, and believe me, it's a lot. The searchlights will actually show where the Helmarock King is located at any time on the map, and you'll be able to see where he is automatically no matter what. Obviously, though, the Helmarock King is actually a hyper-evolved Kakarot, if you want to be technical about his design and whatnot. Once we knock off the helm, we can see that he is definitely a unique-looking bird. However, his fighting style will change at a certain point. Well, not at this point, unfortunately. He still has that crest on his head, and we need to knock it out. Double attacks, by the way, do not increase the damage on this crest, especially the crest's helmet or armor, but if hitting enough times reveals... cuckoo feathers. By the way, you can actually stall his movement in air and actually smack him with a bow and arrow shot. If you want to be technical, you can technically aim him up so that way he smacks into a wall. It's hilarious to see him do that, and it's actually one of the times you can actually stun him a little bit. And actually being stunned like that will actually stop him from moving entirely from happening. However, you have to smack him right in the head in order to actually deal damage to the bow. No other way will do. There we go. And you can actually knock him back in the air if you smack him with the arrows. Nothing stops you from doing so, so I wouldn't recommend it though, because there are better ways to hit the Helmrock King, especially using your Master Sword that you have equipped. Not only that, bosses themselves do indeed have HP pools that can actually be financed enough as possible with the Hurricane Spin. This crest, by the way, is still an object in the field, so if you're not careful, it will be blocking your path by moving. And trust me, it does that a lot. Wait for the Helmrock King to poke his nose on the ground again, like a little chicken he is. And charge! The bird that kidnapped our sister and the one responsible for starting us on this quest is finally defeated. Your reward, of course, being a heart container that you deserve. Let's go ahead and get our heart container we richly deserve. 10 hearts, perfect for the next thing coming up. Let's go ahead and see what's up. The feather is dying. It shows that the Helmrock King is permanently gone. You'll never see it again, and in fact, that is your only opportunity. Let's go ahead immediately and head up to where we saw Ganon basically looking at us from the Helmrock King holding us last time. It's finally time to get our payback. It has been a while, boy. You have done well to sneak into my fortress and wriggle your way all the way up here. I suppose the least I could do is commend you for your reckless courage. My name is Ganondorf, and I am the master of the Forsaken Fortress. By the way, boy, when you drew that sword of yours out of its pedestal, did you by chance notice that how all the monsters frozen in time down there suddenly began to stir again? Do you understand precisely what that means? I highly doubt you do. Foolish child, while that sword is indeed up the blade of evil's bane, at the same time, it has long played another role. You see, it was also sort of key. A most wretched little key that has kept me and my magic intact. By withdrawing the blade, you have broken that seal. You cannot defeat me with a blade that does not sparkle with the powers to repel evil. What you hold is useless. Go back to the world below and tell that to the pathetic fools who made this blade. Its power is gone and its edges are dull. Link, get up! Stop! Let me go! You pathetic little sea rat! Huh? My Triforce of Power is resonating! At long last I found you, Princess Zelda. What are you talking about? I don't know any Zelda. Being ignorance will gain you nothing. Tell me, if you're not Zelda, then why do you have this fragment of the Triforce?